Alright, hello everyone, my name is Veritas and welcome back to Let's Play Destiny. Now, it's been a couple days since I played Destiny, and I know you guys are itching for more Bungie-related content. So I decided I would discuss something that happened last week for a video today, and play some Destiny, leveling up my Titan's armor and stuff. I never really play my Titan anymore. You guys usually see my Hunter and my Warlock. So I figured, hey, I'll play my Titan for once and discuss something that happened last week, something called Challenge Mode. So I would like to talk about how Challenge Mode came across and how the community responded, in my own opinion, of the mode of challenge. Now, Challenge Mode came to us by surprise on Tuesday. It wasn't really announced. They said it was going to come out in December, but they didn't actually say when. So there was really no, pre-thought or warning to it at all. I just remember waking up Tuesday morning, expecting to have to deal with the Nightfall, perhaps another week of horribly disappointing and saddening raids, and I came to find out that, oh my god, War Priest Challenge Mode is active. So, I took to Reddit, found some groups, got some friends, and did it. My opinion on it, based on the community's opinion on it, is Challenge Mode is very easy if you know what you're doing. Now, I don't want to say Challenge Mode is easy, blanket statement, because Challenge Mode, in and of itself, requires you to do Hard Mode King's Fall. Hard Mode King's Fall, excuse me. Now, Hard Mode King's Fall, in and of itself, is technically the hardest endgame content available in the game on its own. Not to mention the fact that you have to do it in a specific manner. Now, this specific manner might not be as difficult as some people might have wanted. And, Challenge Mode essentially was do this the way Bungie intended it to do it. But challenge doesn't always necessarily mean incredibly difficult in ball crushing. It could just mean an intricate or different way. It's a challenge. It changes up some things. If you always do the Saber Strike by activating the Warsat from underneath the map, and Bungie says Challenge Mode Warsat, you have to do it from up here, it's not necessarily changing the difficulty. It's more like saying do it a different way, do it the way we want you to do it, not the way you want to do it. And that in and of itself is a challenge. So Challenge Mode may have been marketed to us in a flawed manner, with Deej saying it's a harder mode or something along those lines. But honestly, as much as it might have been communicated poorly, it honestly wasn't that big of a problem. It could have easily been called Raid Challenge or an encounter modifier or something along those lines that would have made it a little bit more obvious that it wasn't like a whole change to a fight. I know some people were assuming that it was going to be this thing that changed the way the game was played, majorly, like they were going to add in encounters and add different ways to fight bosses and, change up things and, maybe add like mini Golgoroths to War Priest encounter and things like that. And people always have these, assumptions and wishes and, people always have expectations. And the problem with expectations or expecting something or counting on something to be the way you think it's going to be is that most, 9 times out of 10, or most times, you're going to be disappointed and things won't meet your expectations. Now, this is a human flaw, and I'm not saying it's wrong to expect Bungie to do something interesting. The problem with this is not that necessarily Raid Challenge Mode was miscommunicated, more so that we need something new to do. That's all that the community is screaming out for. Because we wanted something, as a community, the biggest complaint was, we thought it was something else. We didn't just think it was, okay, do the fight this way. We thought it was, okay, now do the fight like this with all this new stuff added into it. And all that is an outcry for, give us something new to do. That's honestly, when you boil it down, it's we need new content, we're bored. And that's true. I mean, we're essentially working with content that came out with Taken King on launch day, save the raid. But even with the raid counted, I'm not going to count hard mode as new content because it technically is just, King's Fall again, but harder. So the raid wasn't out day 1, but it was out like week 2, so it was out fairly quickly. And honestly, the raids don't really get rewarding or challenging until hard mode, so there's really no reason to count normal mode as a content drop. So if we assume that when King's Fall came out, we're just going to assume that is a raid, full package raid, not going to qualify it with, oh, it was normal mode, etc., etc., then we end up with this content gap, where people are really wanting content. And that's okay to want content. You're playing the game every single day, a couple hours a day, maybe every couple days, a few hours a week, something like that. You want something new to do. That's totally fair and totally fine. The problem is people were expecting challenge modes to basically be like raid redesigns for boss encounters that would bring a whole new thing to the table, when in fact they were never meant to be like that. That was never meant to be the idea behind challenge mode. It was meant to change a fight to be more challenging for groups, not necessarily change a fight to be completely different from its, normal non-challenge mode raid counterpart version of the encounter. Now, was challenge mode communicated incorrectly? Absolutely. Did Deej say that, oh, it's going to be a harder raid variant? He did. And was that a poor miscommunication on his part? It was. Am I disappointed in that challenge mode wasn't like a cool redesign of a fight in some neat way? I am. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter, because I'm not Bungie and you're not Bungie. So whatever they decide to do, it's their game to do it with. Now, we might not agree with what they did with it, and that's totally fair. As the consumer, we have the right to, speak up and say, we didn't like this, please do it different in the future. Now, to expect that the Golgoroth challenge is going to be this amazing redesign of a raid challenge is completely stupid, because they've already designed the raid challenges, and to think that they're going to redesign an entire encounter in a week is stupid. So expect the challenges for now to be somewhat disappointing, I guess would be the word for it. But all in all, you're honestly getting really good loot. And like I said, the challenge of it is most people haven't done King's Fall, and if they have done King's Fall, they struggle on it. There are people that haven't finished the raid yet because it's hard for them. And if you're toting along saying, well, it was too easy for me, then you're part of the elitist problem. For most people to be able to go into King's Fall hard mode and have enough communication and teamwork to actually be able to kill War Priest while swapping brand holders and be able to kill him, because you can't, it's hard mode, you can't come back to life. The communication needed there, the firepower needed there, just the ability to actually kill him for like a normal player or a casual player or someone who's just doing hard mode for the first time and is stuck at 295 light or 308 light or something. If they're stuck and they can't get better loot drops, even if you do it on normal mode, you get guaranteed 310 heavy, a guaranteed 310 heavy or 310 special, and that in and of itself is enough to be like, hey, you can get max light gear for your current gear set or light set from doing this. Just do it and you're guaranteed it. And it's like, that is a good way to bring people into the raid and say, hey, I need to raid now because I've been trying to, but I've been worried about the drops, and this week I know I can get what I need, and it would be really helpful for my light level. And if they get something that brings them up high enough, they can probably then do hard mode, and then they can get a 320 weapon. So honestly, it's a very good idea what they're doing with it. It's kind of like it's kind of incentivizing the raid if you haven't done it yet, or kind of like putting hot coals on your heels or whatever. It's like you're gonna want to do it, and that's a good idea. I actually really like what they're doing. The flaw to that is most people are leaving after War Priest because you don't need to keep going. You have your 320, you don't need to keep raiding, which is a flaw situation with the challenge mode. But Bungie's never been really good at incentivizing completing content. They have, most people just want hard mode raid checkpoints for bosses. There were no checkpoints for Skolas in the Prison of Elders, Skolas' Revenge, which made people just want to get Skolas checkpoints because there was no point in playing the entire thing when you can just get a checkpoint for the boss, because that was a waste of time for most people. things like that. And now people are just leaving after War Priest because what's the point? You got 320 loot. Why would you keep playing? Just wait for next week when it's Golgoroth challenge. Do Golgoroth. You're not going to get good loot anyway because it's fucking Kingsfall. Kingsfall loot sucks. Everyone knows that. And that's the mentality of the community right now. And while that's not inherently wrong, you do end up with this situation where you're basically just trying to find groups that are going to go from Golgoroth forward, unless your team decides to go the whole raid, which most of mine did not. I had to do War Priest and then go find different groups for the rest of the raid, which is a flaw, and it's kind of shit, but I mean, that's just how the community is. They're lazy. So you end up with situations like that, and that's not cool, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You can't control everyone, so I don't really care, but challenge mode is a very, very good way to get people who are maybe not the best Destiny players get some loot. It helps everyone at the end of the day to get some loot, and I mean that's honestly what this is about. You're here to help everyone have fun with the game, and that's exactly what's happening. You're helping everyone have fun with the game. And that's pretty much what they're doing with challenge mode. Is they're like, hey, you might not ever play Kingsfall, but hey, guess what? You get some good loot. So, is it disappointing? To some people, it would be yes. Some people, it would be no. So, at the end of the day, should you complain about it? Go for it. I mean, it's your right to complain about it. You definitely have the right to complain about it. Should you let it consume your life and say Bungie fucked up and they lied to us? No. You shouldn't, because they didn't, and you're not entitled to that. So, I really wish that had been the machine gun. Anyway, so, that's my opinion on it. I like it. It's good for all in all, it's good for the community to have a nice guaranteed way to do it, even if it is difficult for most people. So, I agree that it's good. It was miscommunicated, yes, but all in all, challenge mode, pretty good. I can't wait for next week for Golgoroth. I just think it's kind of interesting. So, I like it. Most people don't. It doesn't really matter. Opinions are opinions. I might be wrong to you. You might be wrong to me. That's how the world works. So, if you have an opinion on Kingsfall hard mode or normal mode, challenge mode things, if you have an opinion on the challenge mode way, be it miscommunication or otherwise, I'd like to hear what you think in the comments below. We talked about Sacrifice a Friend last week, and that seemed to work out pretty well. So this week, let's talk about, this video, let's talk about, challenge mode and what you're excited for next week for Golgoroth, and then inevitably for Kingsfall. In the next video, I think we'll discuss something about nerfing and buffing of classes, and that'll be coming out on Sunday. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, I very much appreciate it, and until the next video, have a great day, everyone.